I've avoided tow bills, service calls, and a lot of headaches, all because I carry a few simple things with me that I think every truck owner should carry with them. And if I had to buy another truck tomorrow, these are 5 things that I would put into it to help ensure that I'm not stuck on the side of the road. You boys like Mexico? What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Project 111. Today we're going to be talking about a few things that might sound a little bit expensive up front, but I can tell you from personal experience, they've paid for themselves multiple times over throughout the years that I've owned them. Well, this is my basic setup. We got some basic tools in here. We always got a medical kit, recovery gear. Up under here, you might not be able to see it too good, but we got jumper cables and a tub of towels so you can clean up your nasty hands whenever you're done. Oh, and this is just a little bit of a bonus mention. A little Predator engine, so that whenever that eco boost gives up on you, you got something you can strap up into there and get you back on the road. I'm just kidding. That's part of my son's birthday present. He's got a little mini bike back there and he wanted to have a motor to put into it and make it a little bit better. So let's go ahead and get some of this stuff out and see what all we carry with us. So right here we got our first Apache box from Hobo Freight. This is where I carry my jump box. These really come in handy. Sometimes you just never know if your battery's gonna give up the ghost on you, or if you've been hanging out too long somewhere with friends playing music and you killed your battery. Or in my case, the whole reason I bought it was because I was doing hot shotting and I carried an electric cooler with me that plugged into the truck. And after about 10 or 12 hours of not running the truck, it would kill the batteries down enough to where it wouldn't start. So I learned the hard way. I needed that. The next thing we got is our 1/2-inch impact with the battery pack. And of course, whatever size socket that you need for your lug nuts. So we'll go ahead and get that put back. The next Apache box is just where I keep extra tools, you know, just everyday bits and bobs. We got wrenches, adjustable pliers, air chuck, screwdrivers, just normal stuff that doesn't normally come in your standard socket set. So we'll talk about that next. And this is a really solid socket set that I bought. It's a Cobalt one. I've had it for about 13 or 14 years now. You've got everything from Torx heads to Allen heads, 3/8" drive deep sockets, metric and standard shallow sockets, 1/4 inch all the way through 1/2 inch. The 3 different sizes of ratchets, a couple extensions. That's definitely something that you really need to look for whenever you're buying one of these, is one that has a lot of different things like this in it. You don't need one of those ones with a stupid little cheesy hammer or some cheesy Phillips heads crap in it. Just sockets are where you're going to do most of your work at on a vehicle. That's why I carry this, because I'll get into a little bit more involved projects on the side of a highway than most people will. I've kind of gotten past the comfort zone of working on the side of an interstate. When you're broke and you can't afford to even pay for the part by itself, and then tack on towing bills and shop costs, you learn how to do stuff pretty quick and cheaply. Inside of this smaller Apache box, we got some deep well sockets. This is my deep well socket set. Wobbles are always good to have. And one of the main things, if you were going to simplify this all the way down to just basic stuff, and I had to eliminate a few things, the things that I would bring would be this set and my 1/2-inch impact. Because if you can change a tire, change a tie rod, and change a wheel hub on the side of the road, those are most of the things that I've had to deal with on the side of the road. You know, I was going through Oklahoma City Thanksgiving weekend, coming home from northeast Kansas, and I started hearing the squeaky noise coming from my hub. I went and stopped at a shop, had them check it out. They said, yeah, your hub's definitely going out. and they were wanting to charge me over $500 for it. So of course I did the right thing and I drove away with haste, but I didn't hardly make it down the highway. I was trying to make it somewhere where I could find a part and get it fixed myself. And as soon as I got up to speed, that whole wheel bearing came apart. So thankfully I had roadside service on my insurance. I called them up. They came and got me off the road and dropped me off behind at an O'Reilly's, nope, at an Advanced Auto Parts. And we were able to get the part right before they closed, and I got it changed out in their parking lot in about an hour. And at that point in time, I didn't even have my impact. That was all with hand tools. So for a $200 part and an hour of labor, that shop wanted to charge me $300 of labor. And that $300 is enough to pay for that impact. So if you're trying to justify buying these things, there's your justification. That's how I was able to buy this stuff, was doing stuff myself and not paying somebody else to do it. Okay, so we'll move on from that. Out of the 5 items, we've covered a jump box, we've covered a 1/2-inch impact, we've covered socket sets and basic tools. The next thing that I would talk about, having yourself a good first aid kit. You know, just stuff like band-aids, big band-aids, alcohol pads, gauze, medical tape. Oh, what's that stuff called? Is it still called medical tape? Whatever this stretchy stuff is, wrap it around. You can put gauze on and wrap this around you. I don't remember what it's called. I'm not a doctor. But it works. And it'll get you out of a lot of stuff. We even have suture kits in here for just in case. If you really wanted to be extra, you could put a tampon in there in case you get a deep puncture wound. So the next up that we'll talk about are lights. You know, this is a safety triangle. It lights up, it's got lights on it. It does the flashy stuff. That is extremely handy to have. You're on the side of the road, you're extremely exposed. It's always really, really good to just have something there to let people know that that's not just a parked car on the side of the highway. There's actually somebody right there trying to work. Well, I had moved my flashlight back here, but now I can't find it. But a flashlight is always good to have with you. Your phone does good, but I'll put a picture of it up. I get these little Nebo lights. They're about the size of your thumb. They come with a little pocket clip on them. The butt end of it is magnetic. So you can magnetize it up, try to get it somewhere where it illuminates the area for you so you can see better. Or the pocket clip makes it really good for clipping onto the bill of your hat. See, that's the kind of guy we're trying to avoid. But the pocket clip makes it really handy for clipping onto the bill of your hat so you can actually, you know, it points where you're looking at. And I'm gonna have to put a picture of it up. All right, and next we got our recovery gear. You know, you got your nice big tow rope. These are always really good. They're a lot better than chains. You don't get such a jarring hard hit. You don't got to worry about that chain snapping and going through your back window or smacking somebody. And then soft shackles. Let's see, these ones, this came off of Temu. It's fiery red. I've only used it once now on my Angelina video. You should go check out my Angelina, exploring Angelina National Forest video. And then I just got these. They're Vevor soft shackles. Again, just to keep from hard loading and one less part to be able to snap off real hard and break other stuff and hurt people. And if you didn't notice it at the beginning, I got jumper cables in here on top of the jump box. That's not because I've had issues with my jump box. It's just because I get nervous about stuff like that. You know, that I could have forgot to charge it, which it almost never needs charged. Or it could have just finally decided that the heat was too much, or it just gave up. And you don't want to be relying on having that alone. You know, jumper cables, I already had them, and they're not super huge, so they're, you know, it's just easy to leave them in here. But it's just an extra backup. They come in handy. Yeah. And of course, tub of towels. I love these things. I think Fast Orange has some too. They work super, super good for cleaning yourself and parts and whatever else you got to do with them. That also helps to have paper towels. I usually, once my paper towel rolls get down to about a half a roll, I'll cut them in half and put a half in each truck. You know, just so that you can have something to wipe your hands with. That's not some fast food restaurants, you know, paper towel that's more like paper than towel. So those are the things that I normally carry with me. I'd say an honorable mention for something that I really need to stop procrastinating on buying is a fire extinguisher for each vehicle. I definitely need to get one of those. Thankfully, I've never had a vehicle catch on fire before, you know, nothing other than trying to start up an old carbureted motor and it backfires back through the carb and, you know, big old flame everywhere. So it's those 5 things. Basic socket set, 1/2-inch drive impact with the proper sockets for your lug nuts, lights and safety triangle, a medical kit, and recovery gear. Those are 5 things that I think everybody should be carrying with them, especially but not limited to off-roaders, because it's just really good to have. I can't tell you how many times that I've saved myself from the side of the road or saved somebody else from the side on the side of the road. You know, just helping them change out a tire when they didn't have tools, jumping them off, or just fixing up a couple of basic fixes. I almost forgot. You always got to have some duct tape. I've found that the Gorilla version of duct tape is really, really strong and reliable. Personally, some zip ties. You need zip ties. That is an absolute must. Never leave home without zip ties. And a fire extinguisher. I think that I'll be able to put one. You can get mounts for them and everything. In my hotshot trucks, I was able to put a mount right here. So the fire extinguisher sat just right here. It didn't get in the way of anything. And more importantly, it was very easily accessible for me. So these are the things that I would carry with me. Did I miss anything? What would you guys recommend for myself or other people to add to their kits? I am genuinely curious, and I'm always looking to make my kit more capable to help myself and other people. So this was a real quick one, guys. I promise I have more interesting stuff coming up. I'm waiting on parts to come in right now. We're going to be working on the Yukon next, getting it spruced up and ready to sell. And then we're going to be working on the Tahoe, getting it spruced up and ready to do other stuff, not to sell, because I refuse to sell this truck. I love this truck. I've wanted one of these for a very long time, and I finally got it. So this truck isn't going anywhere except to a shop to do something that I can't do. It really grinds my gears to know that I'm gonna have to pay somebody to do this. But that's all for next time. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all very soon.